Devastation on Ukraine's eastern front, where the notorious Wagner group is making gains. Bakhmut, Ukraine CNN. The weather in Bakhmut deceived the scenes. The weather in Bakhmut deceives the senses, sunny and warm, almost peaceful. But a deafening boom of outgoing artillery from the critical eastern Ukrainian town shocked that notion out of the system as Ukrainian soldiers on Wednesday launched the offensives to try to reclaim positions from Russian forces. Three men could be seen making a run for it out of town, one with the microwave strapped to his back. Russia's war in Ukraine has been going on for 8 months. It's only when you descend into the city of Bakhmut that you really get a sense of the devastation and des- destitution destitution that Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion has wrought. The vantage point gives the view over the city of Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine. Our guide is an Ukrainian military medic who goes by the nom de guerre, Katrusha, in tinted sunglasses and fatigues. She slings our convoy into the center of the city at breakneck speed. Flashing through the windows is near Ghost Town. For the past 2 months, the Russians have been trying to break into the city defenses and have not been successful, she tells us between cigarettes. She took us to see a building that had just been shelled. Our car hadn't even come to a complete halt as another artillery shell hit close by. We scrambled for cover as more artillery rained down nearby for around 20 minutes. Katrusha is a combat medic in Bakhmut. She lost her husband in the fighting a month ago. Attacks are normal, says Katrusha, as she leaned on the wall, a picture of a composer as we take shelter from the incoming shells. The artillery attacks fly every day, so it's never quite here. Other parts of the city take hit many times a day, she says. A handful of residents are still on the streets of Bakhmut. Buildings have no windows. The streets are pockmarked pockmarked with craters and industrial garbage bins have merged into small pools of trash. Those remain some to live in a parallel universe. They are out of their bikes, running around errands, and elderly women drag their shopping trolleys behind them. Though which shops are open seems a mystery. Sergei is one of those Bakhmut inhabitants still walking the street. Asked if he's worried about the shelling, he replies, afraid of what, mate? Everything is going to be okay. He then stares out into the distance, almost as if he doesn't really believe his own words. Katrusha says that the intense fighting has cost the lives of numerous soldiers and civilians here. I cannot give you a number, but it is a lot. There are a lot of injured from both sides and also a lot of deaths. He lost her husband fighting the Russians in Bakhmut just a month ago. Only antidepressant masked the pain, she says. The struggle for Bakhmut has grown ever more ferocious in recent days. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had called the fighting in the city the most difficult. The significance of the city cannot be overstressed. Bakhmut lies at a fork that points toward the two other strategic towns in the Donetsk region, Konstantinivka, to the west southwest, and Kramatorsk and Sloviansk to the northwest. All three are key to Putin's total control of the region. The Ukrainian tank drives past the convoy carrying CNN's team on the way out of the Bakhmut. The scenes in Bakhmut, though, are different to those across the rest of the country, where Ukraine has largely been able to repel Russia's advance and even gain territory in recent weeks as Russian forces retreated at the end of September. Here, Russian forces have made small, steady gains, largely thanks to the Wagner Group, which is considered by the analysts to be a Kremlin approved private military company. Reports on social media and in Russian state media say Wagner mercenaries are on the outskirts of Bakhmut in a small village called Ivangrad. On social network of Telegram, Wagner owner Yevgeny Prigozhin has acknowledged that resistance from the city is stiff. The situation near Bakhmut is stably difficult. The Ukrainian troops are putting up decent resistance, and the legend of the fleeing Ukrainians is just a legend. Ukrainians are guys with the same iron balls as we are, he wrote. Katrusha says she's come up against Wagner fighters, and despite their international notoriety, they seem more like a hog folk of soldiers for hire, she says. They are a rebel. They are a few very well trained professional fighters, but the majority of them have found themselves accidentally fighting in this war looking for money or for the ability to get out of jail, she said. In September, videos of surfaced appearing to show Prigozhin recruiting prisoners from from Russian jails for Wagner, offering a promise of clemency in exchange for 6 months combat service in Ukraine. Despite her heartbreak, Katrusha's spirit isn't dimmed. The one goal is victory. The price for Ukraine will be enormous, she acknowledges. We will lose the best of the best, the most motivated and trained, but we will definitely win. We have no other choice. It is our land. We will win, absolutely.